slow life is for those who live in a quaint cottage in the countryside, for those who harvest veggies in their own garden or forage for mushrooms in the forest, for those who can hear the leaves rustling as they fall asleep and watch the deer graze at dawn. A slow life is not for those who live in the city. Hi, this is Liz. I live a slow and simple life, and I have often heard people say that it seems impossible to live a slow life in the city, that it seems too difficult to find peace and quiet if you don't live amidst meadows and forests, but amidst the hustle and bustle of city life. But is that really true? Is a slow life only achievable for those whose circumstances allow them to move to a remote farm or a quiet cottage? What about the majority of us who have to work in the city, who have to commute, who live in a city apartment instead of that sprawling farmhouse? To find an answer to these questions, let's look at what slow living means and what a slow lifestyle can look like in the city. The idea behind the slow living lifestyle is to reduce the pace of our life, to focus more on meaningful and enriching experiences. I like to think of it as sort of a counter-design to 21st century hustle culture. It involves making conscious choices to simplify daily routines and reduce stress by prioritizing time for relaxation, personal growth, and mindfulness. Slow living asks the question, do I really always need more, better, faster? Do I really always have to be better, more efficient, more productive? This concept becomes particularly intriguing, but also particularly challenging in a city environment, as the speed of urban life can often seem at odds with the principles of a slow life. More often than in other places, we can face noise, overwhelming work schedules, and environments that drain our energy, such as overcrowded subways or stores. I fully understand why so many of us who live in the city yearn for a slower pace and a simpler life. Why so many of us long to sometimes disconnect, focus on ourselves, dedicate time to our hobbies and self-care and to social interactions that are truly fulfilling rather than merely entertaining. Let's first talk about our living space. Our home is our sanctuary amidst the fast-paced stream of city life. Our home is the place we can create and design and make entirely our own. If we would like to live a slower life in the city, I encourage you to create a living space for yourself that calms and quiets your mind. This can mean different things for different people. Some prefer very bright minimalist environments that don't distract the thoughts. Others prefer a living space that gives off nature vibes despite being located in the city. Think lots of wood and other natural materials and lots of plants. In the end, you decide which style you enjoy the most and which type of environment helps you slow down. If you find it challenging to find peace and quiet in your home in the city, I also encourage you to rethink the use of the rooms in your home. Do they really have to look like this, or is there maybe a more unconventional way to furnish your home that suits your life better? I slept in a walk-in wardrobe for a year because it was the one room without a window and therefore without traffic noise. I didn't care that the other room was meant to be the bedroom. What does it matter if I can't sleep in peace there? Small things can also go a long way when it comes to slowing down and de-stressing in our city home. A scented candle on the table or the bathtub, a hot water bottle in our bed, a bath bomb we love the smell of, playing some relaxing nature sounds while cooking or cleaning. Our home is the place that really makes a difference when it comes to how slow-paced our life in the city feels. The way we nurture our body is such an important aspect of our lives, and it is one of the areas that allow us to slow down even if we live in the city. Especially in city environments, it is so tempting to order pizza or grab takeout, to eat and drink on the go and ignore our need to take enough time to nurture our body with high-value nutrients. If you would like to take it a bit slower, I encourage you to look up local farmers markets that also exist in the city, to shop fresh produce instead of heading to an overcrowded supermarket. Preparing our own meals at home can be a very enjoyable process that can help us relax and stay more in touch with what we choose to put into our body. It can be a great way to listen to some music or a podcast, to learn something new and to decompress. It is also healthier and more affordable than takeout, and if we meal prep several meals at once, it helps us save a lot of time and energy. If you are on the go, taking a few minutes to enjoy a cup of tea or coffee in a beautiful spot, or a meal at a cute cafe amidst the hustle and bustle can make all the difference regarding how slow or fast-paced our life feels. Have you ever watched one of those ASMR room ambient sound videos on YouTube? I watch them all the time, and so many of them show tiny cafes in the city that radiate the coziest slow living ambience, like tiny islands of calm amidst the fast-paced environment. Despite us being surrounded by so many people, life in the city can often feel lonelier than life in the countryside. Often, people in villages and smaller towns form more tight-knit communities that motivate us to volunteer and be active in our local community. Community engagement is a cornerstone of the slow living philosophy, as it focuses on connection, support, and shared experiences. Participating in local events, volunteering, and connecting with neighbors fosters a sense of belonging. Great ways to feel more connected with our local community include attending local festivals, fairs, and cultural events to celebrate the diversity and richness of the community. These events offer opportunities to meet new people and learn about different cultures. Attending workshops, classes, or interest groups to learn new skills and hobbies while connected with like-minded individuals. Or volunteering for local charities and non-profits to give back to the community. Being part of a community can help relieve the feeling that in the city we are surrounded by unknown, anonymous faces rushing past us just as much in a constant hurry as we are. It can help form meaningful and deep connections with others and can remind us to take the time to nourish these connections with others, to truly listen to the people around us and share memorable experiences with them. We often think of the city as the opposite of the countryside, a grey sea of skyscrapers and cars and storefronts. But most cities have green areas too. There are often riversides, parks, gardens, or cemeteries, and often a 30-minute train ride can already take us to greener suburban areas. I encourage you to seek out these nature islands in the city as often as possible. They are great places to read, go for a walk or run, meet up with friends, have lunch, or simply relax and take a deep breath. Even staying in nature for just a few minutes has a positive and calming effect on our mind. In many cities, there are small plots of land you can rent for gardening, or you can keep plants at home to surround yourself with nature. These small escapes into nature can really give us the feeling of a slower, more relaxed life in the city. If we live in the city, there are plenty of options to participate in slower-paced cultural activities. Let's take the time to fully immerse ourselves in the experiences the city has to offer, rather than rushing through them. Museums and art galleries are fantastic places to forget how busy the city around us is and to truly disconnect from the world outside. Instead of quickly scanning through exhibits, I love to spend more time with each piece of art. I might not see the entire museum in one visit, but this allows for a deeper understanding and appreciation of the artist's work and intent. And I can always come back. Most cities have one or more theaters offering a variety of stage plays. In a time in which we can watch literally everything whenever we want, skip forward and rewind as much as we want, it is so special to see people take the time to perform something for a relatively small audience. We have to be present and immerse ourselves in the moment. There is no rewinding or rewatching that stage play. Small concerts are a great slow living activity as well. I personally love the ones where a string quartet or piano player plays famous rock songs or movie soundtracks. Let's just leave our phones in our pockets and just enjoy the moment. The city offers so many of these opportunities. Last but not least, let's talk about technology. The city in particular is an environment where we are surrounded by technology, by screens and buttons and phones and tablets. And while for most of us technology is making our lives so much easier and more convenient, we can also sometimes feel as if it is speeding up our lives, leaving no time or room to literally disconnect for a bit. In the city in particular, it is important for us to develop a healthy attitude towards our devices. It's important to establish a usage routine that satisfies both our need to stay connected as well as our occasional need to disconnect. This could include listening to nature sounds or an audiobook during commutes, disconnecting purposefully from all the city noise. It could also include listening to guided meditations or power naps during work breaks or at home at night. If your bedroom or workplace in the city is noisy, listening to ocean waves or forest sounds can help drown out the noise. With everything going on around us in a city environment, it can also help to limit push notifications to a minimum, as to not add further distractions to our everyday lives. And as always, it is fine to set our phone to flight mode or do not disturb from time to time. If you feel overwhelmed in your city environment, try monotasking, focusing on one activity at a time. We might feel productive checking in for a train ride while talking to a coworker on the phone, while posting a status update, while looking at the route we have to take. But very often, this use of our devices can leave us completely drained. Living a slow lifestyle can sometimes be more challenging in a city environment. But to me, slow living is mainly about our mindset, our habits, the way we choose to spend each moment, and our life as a whole. We have lots of options to choose a slower pace for our lives, be it in our living space, be it in the way we eat, drink, spend our time, and connect with others. Slow living is a mindset that takes practice and the decision to not let the world around us overwhelm us, to prioritize our well-being, our experiences, and our relationships with others instead of making them an afterthought. The city offers so many amazing, slow and enriching activities and so many opportunities to connect with others. Let's take full advantage of them to build the slow life of our dreams. Now I'm curious, do you live in the city? What do you struggle with the most there when it comes to slowing down and living a more quiet life? Let me know in the comments.